Alright. Take a look. Oh, is alright, let's just make sure everything's working again. This one's gonna be much shorter. I mean, there's less to talk about. It's a bit more explored. I'm gonna talk about like the cringe stuff. Alright, so I'll leave it at this. There isn't really. Okay. So, this is a new doc. Artifact list, best users. So I'm gonna try to keep this as meta resistant as possible because like the specifics of this can be from patch to patch, like just based on like what's strong right now. Like right now, like if you look up the stats, BIS for like a ton of like bruiser artifacts are just it's just Violet. Like Violet is just OP with everything, but uh I'm assuming that's not going to be the case forever, so I'm going to try to keep it like pretty general. I'll talk about like specific interactions, but like in like a lot of these are like broad enough that are it's fine. They're not the more interesting stuff. Like I'll again I'll talk about. So yeah, not much. Okay, I'll get started. Anyway, so Blue Highlight is like something like a unique interaction. Something it does something like pretty interesting. With the kit of the certain units, and then purple is just it just like perfect. It just complements the user's kit. So like I don't know how to explain the difference. I mean, okay, blue is just it does something weird. I'll leave it at that. Uh, I don't really. I mean, it's kind of like I don't know. Okay, whatever. Like it's kind of the same thing. It doesn't matter. So, I'll just start now. Animal Visage. I mean, it's a pretty broad. It's a broad tank item. I mean, I guess just like I guess I think Alawi is probably the best user, but I think it's just like truthfully any tank. I guess I'll still include Alawi here, but like I think she might be the best user. I think she's the best tank, but I think it's just like there isn't like any champion specific things that like matter. It's just you just put it on your tank, and it's like it's pretty. It's better than any other tank item. So that's it. Lightning Jewel. Uh, Historically very good with dot champions. Currently still the case. So I guess I'll go to tactics. Actually, I mean I don't need it. But Blighting Jewel, I mean, so no, I will pull it up for the sake of stats, items, artifacts. Okay, so this reduces the magic resist every time they do damage, and if you reduce it to 0, you get mana. So it's really really good on dot champions that constantly do small ticks of damage. And well, the reason for this is it eventually gets to the point where you're generating mana because it keeps proccing itself. So I mean the best example would be talk about the best users, which are Morgana and Malzahar. Morgana, early game, uh, her spell is just like it does damage over 10 seconds, I think it takes either every second or every half second, but pretty much you're gonna get it to proc. Like most units are gonna run out of magic resistance, so you're gonna start generating mana, and then that's more cast and that's more damage. And then what's really nice is that this set you have like a pipeline, so you can put this on Morgana, and then you should be very strong for like most of the early and mid game, and then eventually late game you can put this onto Malzahar, which is another dot champion, except he's better because he's a 5 cost, and he's just better. But it makes the transition like really nice because like you can like it's really good for tempo, whereas a lot of the times there's only one unit that could use it, so you're kind of forced to reroll them. But this isn't the case. You can go 9 and just have a OP synergy, and like this just like works really well in the current meta as well with Black Rose meta. So you can just do that. But make sure your front line is strong enough because Morgana still takes time to do damage. And okay, Collector, uh, it just does damage. It has crit chance, and it has an execute. So yeah, it's pretty nice. I think the nice synergies it has is with Tristana and Smeech because it helps them get their resets. Tristana gets the kill, and then that helps get her stack, and it also helps her ability Ricochet, and that's pretty good. And then Smeech, the same thing. If he gets a kill, his ult resets, so he can keep going, and it synergizes well also with Ambusher because it helps him get to 100% crit really easily. And yeah, other good users are just units that either use crit well or can hit a lot of things and have a good chance of using the execute. So, I mean, it's pretty good in most cases, but I think Twitch hits a ton of things, Corki hits a ton of things, and Camille's good with crit. Uh, any other AD champion, it's like, I think slightly less good on, but it's still pretty good. So like your Jinxes, your Caitlyn's, your Ravens, your Mbessa's, Vi's, like Violets. All of them, like, they can use it at well. I think these are a little bit better. But I mean, like, this is a broad enough item. You can take this in any AD comp. Uh, this item is nuts in the game. If it were re-added, I think Urgot would be good with it. Uh, I'm not gonna go much into a try. At least yet, not now, because it's not in the game. But I'll talk about why I think it's good if it gets re-added, which I think Riot said they were thinking of doing, but I don't know when that's gonna happen or if it is. It's not like broken. I think it's just good. But yeah, it's in the game, so it doesn't matter. Okay, that's Defiance. This is a bruiser item. Oh, I guess I'll do. I guess I'll like kind of specify. So stats wise, it's just OP on Violet. But like, I mean, that's just Violet's OP. Okay. This like this is fine on any bruiser. It doesn't have like much specific synergies. The only thing is to like keep in mind scaling. So like a couple units really do well with Titans because it gives them AP as well as the AD. But and BT also does the same thing. But Death Defiance doesn't do that. So it doesn't like screw with that many champions, but it does a few champions like the AP. So be mindful of that. But generally, it's like a better version of a BT. Okay, but the interaction with Blitzcrank, is that okay, let's show what Blitzcrank does, and then so Blitzcrank is a interesting unit, as they all are. But right, I mean Blitzcrank isn't in the meta, so I think it's reasonable that a lot of people don't know what this unit does. But okay, so he shields. He has a passive that after he survives damage, he deals a small part of it back to the original target, the damage dealer. So what's notable about this is that I mean, okay, this is used to stack Automata, which is his main trait. So it's used to build up stacks, and then you get this proc. So even as a tank, he still has some AoE, and then the active is also AoE. But with Automata and That's Defiance, it's very interesting because That's Defiance splits damage into small parts. So, like, people might know about the interaction this has with Titans, which I talked about. So what you can do with Death Defiance and Titans is that, if you have the two items together, Death Defiance, like the damage reduction over time, like the self bleed, that like pretty much insta stacks Titans, and in a similar fashion, it does the same thing with Blitzcrank, where he rapidly builds up Automata stacks with Death Defiance bleed. So like it's a weird item, but like it is a very interesting interaction. And like he doesn't like it's pretty good with the bleed too. He heals off of all this stuff, so it's like not even bad. It might actually be like very, very good. But yeah, that's all there is to that. I don't know. I think this one's really funny. But yeah, Deathfire Grasp, generic mage item. I think this set it's not as good. I mean, I guess it's stats wise. It's I mean, let's sort it. It's what is it? Plat plus, sure. It's like average, I guess. Let's see who is good with it. It's just high cost skewed. But yeah, they changed the effect for this set. They reworked it. What it does is instead of getting the damage amp, you just blast like they just made the blast a lot stronger and then it repeats. So I think this is a bit less good on like your primary carry, but it's like a very good item to put somewhere in your comp. There aren't that many units that like have a specific synergy with it. I don't know how this works with like something like Sniper or anything. I do know that, and I put it in the actual doc, that with LeBlanc, if it's in her ult and she blasts them, it like I mean you share the damage and like that. So instead of like a 40% current health proc or what is it, max health, yeah, it does like I mean it does that, but then it also does like a good amount of it to everyone in her ult. So like that's a way to multiply it. I don't know how it works with Sniper or like other damage amp, because I mean I don't take this item very much, but it could have some synergy there. I think the LeBlanc one is pretty basic, especially since LeBlanc isn't a very good user of like I carry items. So she's like a secondary carry exclusively. So I think this is like a very, very good item for her should you get to the point that you do have her, because she's a 5 cost. But yeah, I guess I'll specify any AP secondary carry. Not main carry. I don't think it's worth putting on your main carry. But like on a secondary carry, like Echo in Ambusher comp, or like Powder in Family comp, or a different AP unit in an AP comp that isn't your main carry, it's pretty good. Fishbones has had some really funny moments in the past. This set it's a bit less. So Fishbones makes you attack targets randomly, but it'll doubles your range and it has pretty good stats. So the interactions that I found that are like the most noteworthy. I mean, okay, so I think generally it's just good on. I'll like reorder this because it's like. Okay, so the more interesting interactions is like GP Tristana, because GP can get the charges onto units have a further away, so he has a higher chance of hitting backline with his ability. And then Chisana's the same thing, or she's random casting, so you can randomly ult a backliner and one-shot them, and then that's also pretty cool. There aren't that many units this set that have synergies like that. Like in the past, this was really good on, like, for instance, set 11 Kaisa, or she randomly ults, and if it's backline, she just one-shots the entire backline. Like, the 4-cost Kaisa. There aren't that many units that have that kind of synergy. Like, right now, if you look at stats, it's just going to tell you to put on Violet's because Violet's OP. And like, it's just good stats on her, and it gives her a little bit of safety. Like, that's just a product of the meta. But I don't think that's Violet specific. Like, you could, if any other unit were overtuned like that in the current state of balance, it would be the same. Like, let's say Camille was even more broken. It's the same thing. I don't know, Vi and Bessa, like, it's all the same thing. Like, if they were just super broken, it would be like, it would have the same things in the stats. But I don't think there's like a proper interaction. At least with Draven, I think it's pretty interesting in the sense that he has enough damage amplifiers in his kits that it should be good regardless of balance. But I don't know. I guess I'll just update it later, and I'll just have Violets on these, like, for all of them. Like, it's gonna be kind of cringe, but I can't argue against it, especially since I mean, the point of this stream video is to talk about the cool stuff, and then I guess the actual doc will be for the actual information. So, yeah. Gambler's Blade. You gain gold for hitting fast, so it's good on the units that want to hit fast. Mostly Cogsary. I guess you can put, like, Twitch here too. Other okay users, I think, got LeBlanc, Cassio. They're kind of okay with attack speed. You can put this on pretty much anyone, but, like, because attack speed is used for mana gen, so any kind of mana gen want or would you use it well, but I think most specifically it's good on people that attack fast, or that want to be attacking fast specifically, rather than attacking faster to generate mana. So, like realistically, the best user is Cog. This would just, like, replace, like, I don't know, I don't know what true BIS on Cog is. A lot of people go like Rage Blade. This would probably replace that. But yeah, because